Okay, mi nilisema if this is what God had planned, ikuwe acha nichukue kama an opportunity.
Hey guys, this is Elle and Nick. Welcome back to our channel where we are all about
living life,
loving each other and
sharing good times with you all.
This is the second episode. Hope you loved the first episode where we talked about young love.
Yes, on to the second episode. We are going to talk about when Elle flew out.
Yes, this is the moments leading to and the moments till she flew out.
Yes. The year was 2009 and my dad had flown out to the US. He sent the message that he would like me, my sister, and my mother to join him there. I think my mom was excited, my sister was excited, but me on the other hand, I was like, what? You want us to do what? So that was my reaction, my first one. And then I was excited for a minute. And then I was very sad after that. I was like, oh my gosh, what's gonna happen? What am I gonna do now? Like, what are we gonna do? So at first he just shared the idea and he was like, okay, fine, it's not happening right now anyway. So we just went on with our lives and, kept seeing each other, life was good until early 2010 came and he said, oh, the process is almost done. So you guys need to start preparing for your interview. After the interview, basically, if you pass the interview, it's going to be time to come. And we were like, oh my gosh, this is serious. I had told you about it, but we never paid too much attention to it until he talked about the interview.
Well, I tried keeping it at the back of my mind because first of all, I didn't understand what the process entailed. And I was like, when that time comes, we will just cross the bridge. Is it the bridge or the river? we will cross the bridge. So I was like, let's just have fun while it lasts. Let us enjoy each other's company. I always believed in someone pursuing their dreams. I always don't believe in restricting you from pursuing what God has put in your path. So I just told her, if that time comes, just go and I'll wait. So during this period, before even this time came, I remember her telling me that there's a possibility of them traveling to the US. I was taken back because I never wanted to imagine doing long distance relationship and having possibility of being away from the person I love, especially her. So I just tried to push it at the back of my mind. I told her it's okay if you will just go through it. Well, we went on with life, tried to assume that everything is okay. The time kept coming closer and closer. And now, it reached this time that now it was her time to go. It was weeks. Right?
Yeah, I think before that time I really was sad about having to leave, especially when I saw that the process is actually happening and my dad was doing a lot of things in the US to make it possible. And I started telling him that I don't want to go to the US. I don't want to leave Kenya. I don't want to go. And you remember this dad, he's the African dad who akisema amesema. So he was asking me, why would you be saying no to coming to the US? I've really worked hard for this opportunity for you. Why would you not want to go? And remember, I was very young then, so I couldn't say, well, there's a boy that I don't want to leave behind. All I could come up with is,
hey, y'all, come look at this.
I want to finish school first. And he was like, if it's school you want, there's plenty of schools. Actually, I could find a school for you to already be enrolled by the time you come here. What else do you have to say about that? And I really had no other excuses. My mom knew that I was sad about leaving and she was encouraging. She was like, it's okay. You could just go and go to school there and then you can invite him for graduation. And I was like, what? Invite him for graduation? Like another 4 years? So in my mind, I'm like, how is that gonna be possible? How can I invite him in 4 years? And I was just so sad about it, but there wasn't much I could do. So we were set to leave in May, but for some reason there was a document that didn't get signed properly, and so we had to go back to the embassy to sign that. So that delayed us like 2 months. So we were set to leave in May of 2010, but we ended up being ready to go by July of 2010.
All this time I was just going about school. I think I was new then. It was my first year.
It was the end of your first year.
Yes.
Yeah.
So brand new, here we are. Like finally we are like 20 minutes apart in terms of our campuses.
Yeah.
And you think that the ball is rolling, this comes in. And it's not easy when people change their geographical regions while in a relationship. And then we were so young. But we were young, I can say we were young, but we were very mature in our love. Like in terms of how we handled each other and how we used to talk.
Yeah.
So we tried to handle it as mature as possible and not make mistakes just because one of us is leaving and trying to maybe elope to a very far land.
That's what you were thinking about?
No.
Oh.
My friend.
Hey y'all, come look at this.
We had no resources. Are you forgetting this fact? So
I
like,
mean, you know, you can't limit your imagination. You can imagine anything.
well, you have to think about the whole like
Big picture.
yeah, the whole big picture, because you can't just abandon everything and run away. Then what?
Yeah.
So
as for me, I thought about it.
this human right here, let me tell you, just thank God that I'm here, because the decisions that we cancelled out, it was like those mathematical equations. X cancels X, Y cancels Y, Z cancels Z. Was there Z? Okay. Those equations, so you try this, she says this, I tell her no, I counter with this, she says this, then I tell her no, we have to just follow the path. If everything was planned that we are going to be together, this will happen. I remember people used to say that whatever is yours, even if it goes away, it will come back to you. It's like a boomerang. You throw it,
It comes
back to you, then it's yours.
Yeah.
That's what we used, and I just said, it's fine, you have all my blessings. So the time came, and I remember the last days before you left, you came and visited me, and we talked, and you cried.
You cried too.
No, I just cried like lightly, like a man.
No, anyone can cry.
So it was so painful. This was like my best friend. The person that keeps you going through the weekend when our busy schedules of Monday to Friday afternoon, the way I told you, we are very serious. Like our education system in the campus I was in was very serious.
Speaking of campuses, so when I realized that this thing is happening and I was still enrolled in KU, I was like, why should I keep going to school anyway? Like, I'm not gonna be here in a couple of months. So I decided I'm not even gonna go to that school anymore. So I moved in. I didn't move in, you know, but I was spending a majority of my time in Juja.
Yeah, it was like those last moments that you cherish. It was the saddest moment. When you wake up and you look at her and you start crying, because you know one day she's going to fly away.
My gosh,
when you hear a plane like pass through, you're like, one day it will be her in that plane going away.
Yeah, it was actually so sad.
Yeah, so anyway, the weeks drew closer and I invited her home because I felt like my parents now needed to know her. And I think this was the first time you met my parents, right?
Yeah, I think they just
like
knew
officially
of me, but that was the first time you took me home.
Yes, we had to do a small farewell lunch. It's at this point that I'll put some picture where we were seated. We were very young. You can see that picture. We were very young. We looked like we were so in love. I don't know if I'm the one who took it because there were no selfies during those days.
Yeah, I think someone took our pictures and also little clips.
Yeah, so we got some very good advice from my parents and they advised us on this tough journey that was ahead of us. And it's actually very surprising that sometimes you can actually bring your parents to your situation and they make that situation seem so easy and they advise you so well until you ask yourself why you've not been bringing more of your issues to them as you go through your love and relationship. But again, who are we? We are African children. We do not discuss such matters with our parents until you are extremely sure. Some of us don't even discuss these issues until the day you start planning your traditional wedding. That's when you are like, oh, this guy is from this place. Yeah.
Yeah, actually, it was interesting to meet them because I had been to your house so many times, but I had never been there when they were there. So I felt like,
of course, like I said, we guys, the people we date sometimes like visit our homes and they know each corner, but our parents will never know.
They'll never
find out that anyone has ever been there. And interestingly, even the chicks know. When they come, they pretend like even the dog doesn't know them. If you have a dog at home that barks to everyone, apparently, if you are very careful, you will notice that it doesn't bark to the girlfriend because it's so used to her and her scent. But interestingly, the parents don't usually know that actually I've just put out a secret.
Yeah, don't put people's secrets up there.
Yeah.
Someone is relying on that, so that their secret is not out. Yeah, so it was interesting being there, actually meeting them, sharing a table, eating with them, talking to them. Now they're so interested in me, like, oh, tell us more about you. Where are you from? Where are your parents from? And they're meeting me, and then the thing they're hearing is that I'm flying out. So I think it was a bit shocking to them. Because first of all, they knew there was a girl somewhere that you talk to or you see, but they didn't really know like the extent to.
Yeah, remember that day, it was a Sunday and you were flying out on a Tuesday, right?
Yeah.
And you can imagine you're introducing someone to your parents and they're flying out in a day. So you can imagine even the shock. They're like, what? You come, okay. Pleasure to meet you, and you're going
and you're leaving. It's like a high and bye situation. Yeah.
So after the lunch, we had some discussion with my mom, and we took a small video. Actually, this video is very many years old.
Oh my gosh.
So I'm going to drop it right here.
Kwetu mnatuombea because as much as tunaona mbele, there are so many challenges, but as long as tumepurpose na heart zetu tuta overcome.
Amen.
Okay, mimi nilisema if this is what God had planned, ikuwe acha nichukue kama an opportunity rather than a challenge. Nitumie poa, so I'll make sure I work hard na nitumie any opportunity nitapata to make a better future for us, and we make it work. And together tunaweza make work with God here.
Amen.
So guys, if you've watched that video, that's just a small clip of it. You can see how young we were. Yeah, my mom was actually a very big supporter, and we really expressed ourselves in that video. I remember after that, I think I actually took you home. We walked all the way home. I can't remember anything after that, but it was actually very emotional. Then Monday I went back to school because it was still school time, right?
Yeah.
So I went back to school, and I think you came on Monday.
I don't know if I came that Monday, but I know that I passed by on Tuesday. I came to see you on that Tuesday that I was leaving. You had class, and then I think after class we had lunch or something.
I'm very sure I understood nothing in that class, because this is a day that you're sure today at night I'll be alone in this country. And the person I love will be out of the country. I think that was so emotional.
Yeah, it was so, gosh, that was a hard day. I think we cried, we really cried.
It was not this was not a normal meeting between the two of us. It was just the emotional roller coaster where you talk about we actually planned, you remember?
Yeah.
We actually planned a lot, like into those years that are going to come ahead of us. We sat down, planned how things will be, when probably you'll come back and visit, but I never knew about maybe the visa processes, like how long, if someone goes into the US with a particular visa, how long it may take them before they are actually able to travel out of the country. I think you're also not aware.
Yeah, I didn't know a lot of the things. We didn't know a lot of the things, actually. We had a plan. The plan was that, you know, later in the year when they opened the green card process, the lottery, that you would apply. And we were like, yeah, that's what's gonna work for us, and you're gonna come after. So it's just gonna be, you know, a couple of months of being apart, and you know, if that doesn't work out, we'll find something else that will, but we're going to make it.
It wasn't as easy as we planned also, because at the back of my mind I also knew I was still in school.
Yeah,
I still had, I think, a year and a half or 2 years to go. Then you are still going to figure out how to start school.
Oh gosh,
and settle into a new country.
Yeah.
So I just knew the complexities were too much, and I didn't want to concentrate on the like exact situation, how it's going to be. Like you don't have to figure out everything. I was like, okay, we'll just go with this blueprint that we have. It's just sketchy, but that's what we'll use. So we are going to do this and this and this, but we were not sure of anything.
Yeah, it was so uncertain, because you have no idea what to expect. It's going to be a new country, except for what like maybe my dad had told me about the country. I had no idea how anything runs, really. All I knew is, you know, he's in Kenya, he's in school, and I don't know anything about on my side how everything is gonna go. It was a really, really hard decision, because we knew we loved each other for real and we wanted to be together. We had planned a whole future, because at the time we were in school, we had plans of, you know, finishing school, of course, and then, you know, maybe getting jobs, then thinking about getting married. We even had like a projection of, you know, when we'll do what, like at this point maybe we'll be able to do this and that and this and that. So it's like we had a whole thing planned.
Actually, I remember some months before you actually got the news that you may be going to the US, our financial like plan was rolling in.
Yeah.
We had actually visited a number of banks to try and see how we'll save into our future.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it was just,
we had even like picked out a wedding date. You remember that?
Yep. Some of the plans that you have and what God has planned, those two are very different.
And you know how they say that we plan and God laughs? It's true, because we had so many plans and we had everything all figured out, and it was just a matter of time. In our minds, we'd be like, we'll just execute our plans that we have and everything will be good. Like there was not going to be any roadblocks until this happened, and we were like, what is happening right now? So earlier in the day, oh my gosh, I had to pass by KU. Like on the day that I'm flying out, I had to pass by KU to go ask for my
transcripts.
Yeah.
Oh,
can you believe it? Because
that never happens in a day.
Oh my
please.
Gosh. No, I had been trying. I don't want to get carried away with this story, but I had been trying in the months prior. I knew that I was gonna need some kind of documentation that, you know, I've gone to school, you know, something to show that I was in university. And I had been trying, and you know, of course, like in Kenya, it's like, yeah, the person that's dealing with that is not in right now. Can you come after lunch? And after lunch, they're not back, and blah, blah, blah. And come the next week and the week after that. It had been months of trying to obtain my transcripts. And on the day that I was going to fly out, I passed by KU and I was still not successful. And I told them, I'm leaving today. Like, what? Like, I need these transcripts. And they said, leave us a phone number that we could call you and send it to you over there. And I was like, I don't know why they make it so hard, but anyway, that's besides the point. So I passed by KU, and then I wasn't successful in doing that, so we were gonna meet at my aunt's house, and everyone had come to, like, you know, say goodbye. And then you, after school, came over as well.
Yeah, so I had to find a way of coming to where you are and bid you goodbye. So we came, went to your aunt's place. Hey, I've just remembered the story. I actually proposed to you.
Oh yeah. Yes, you did.
Oh my God, that was so rushed.
You had forgot about that?
No, I've just remembered it right now.
Yeah.
Okay. Some of the things we do. But I felt like it was rushed. Did you say yes, by the way?
Yeah, I said yes.
Okay. She said yes. I didn't want to say it.
Oh, yeah, I said yes.
But there was no celebration. It was just tears and... and everything was rushed, and we had to put the bags into the cars and rush to the airport because, you know, international flights, you have to be there, I don't know, 2 hours before for security checks and everything. So we went to the airport. It was my first time ever to step on the airport grounds.
Oh, really?
Who was I picking from where?
Wow.
In our village, we do not fly as often. We mostly use road networks, and we never used to fly away because everything in our country was enough.
Actually, it was also my first time at the airport.
I've actually remembered how you guys wore very heavy jackets.
Hey, y'all, come look at this.
Because you are told you are going to fly into snow. Right into the snow.
No, and it was July too, so it was summertime over here, so it wasn't really that cold. But those jackets really helped us because it was very cold in the flight, and our flight was like at 1 in the morning.
At the airport, the cousins were saying goodbye. You don't have even time.
Yeah,
if you've been to the airport, you understand. You are all excited. Everyone wants to say something. Before you know it, they have to rush in, and I thought if you go into the airport, you can go in and come out.
Yeah, me too. The way that we left, like they said, oh, you have to go. So we were like, why? Because you have to check in. So I thought, okay, go check in, then come back and, you know, finish your goodbyes and stuff. But once we went in, that was that.
Yeah, I can remember you waved, and I was like, that's it?
Yeah, it was crazy. I wasn't ready myself either for that.
Oh, and I remember you gave me some souvenirs.
So, what kind of souvenirs?
She gave me, I think, a 50 shilling note, a 20 shilling coin, a 5 shilling coin, and some shillings.
No.
You gave me a few shillings.
I gave you all the money I had, which was like 1,000 shillings.
No, the 1,000 went to your cousins, and I got the 50. I was glad. Let me tell you, at that point, I really didn't care how much it was. I think I looked at it the next day.
Oh, really?
You guys went, and now we were left there with your cousins and your aunties. And now we had to go home because my parents have work to do in the morning. And we have to go back to the reality. At 3 something, like 10 minutes after, I felt a plane passed over our home. I actually cried at that point. That's when it actually hit me that actually you're gone. So yeah, so the plane flew by, and I don't know when I actually slept. I think I just cried myself to sleep. Then morning came, reality dawned, and it was back to being alone. This time I had to wait because the flight was taking I don't know how many hours to whichever continent it was going to.
Gosh.
So there was no way of communicating. And those days we didn't have these WhatsApp and everything.
Yeah, so when we were waiting in the airport, I was just crying because I was like, what has just happened? Is that it? Because then I think after some time you guys left and we were there and we had to wait the 2 hours because we finished all our check-in and stuff, and I was just crying and my mom was trying to console me and like give me advice and tell me that it's gonna be okay, that you know it's gonna be fine, like you guys will find a way to be together, like this is a good it's a good opportunity for you, and it might end up being a good opportunity for both of you at the end. So they were both really trying to console me, and I was like, okay, let me just go, and you know we'll figure out a way to get back together. So yeah, we flew, and you know it was during the night, so I fell asleep, and we got to Turkey the next morning, and I was really trying to call you and call my dad as well so that we can tell them where we were. I don't remember that I got a hold of you, so I don't think we got to talk actually until I got to the US, and the journey was so long,
so I had to wait all that time. You're just imagining they're somewhere like suspended in air between one continent and the next, and these things were too complicated for a young human to understand where and when and where we what is happening. So that happened, and I went back to school. It was so weird because we were so used to talking to each other, so I end up like looking at her phone. I remember your number was 241 922.
What? You still remember my Kenyan phone number?
Okay, of course I'll not say the whole number, because that number must belong to someone else right now. But yes, I remember your phone number.
Wow, that's crazy. Yeah, that's how I left, guys.
So my life was normal. I was still in the same environment. I was still going to school as usual. But I remember the moment you landed in the US, you called me, and it was at night in Kenya, and I was so emotional. It was so nice, like hearing your voice, and it sounded like you are so far away. On call, you could feel like.
Oh yeah, those were the days when if you call from here to Kenya, like there is a gap in the voice, like you have to wait a little bit and then hear like the other person talk.
It's like every voice, every word you utter had a tail, so it goes all the way. The tail also has to come through. Once the tail comes through, that's when you talk. So your talk also has a tail. Once your tail comes, so you wait for each other before you communicate. So
you wait for each other's tails?
Yeah, you wait for each other's tails to complete the movement. Yeah.
So I was really looking forward to talking to you because it had been so many days, and I was trying the journey from there to here. It was so adventurous, so eventful that's another story for another day. If you are interested, I might tell it at some point. But
yeah, I think you should tell us about your your first flight journey, international flight.
It was very, very eventful, to say the least, that it took us an extra almost 2 days to get here. I was imagining how he's feeling, not knowing like what happened, where am I haven't talked, like we haven't had the chance to communicate, because I think by the time I got to Turkey, it was morning there, but I wasn't able to get through to him. And our next flight was New York, and New York was so eventful that I didn't even have a chance to call him. So I called him the first time that I had a chance to call him, and it was such a relief to talk to him, to hear your voice. Like I was so emotional to hear how you were talking and how you said you were worried about me. I was so sad. I felt like I just want to come back.
Sadly, you couldn't.
Yeah, I couldn't. That's how I left, guys. So of course, once I landed in the US and he was in Kenya, that meant that we were in a long distance relationship, and that was quite something. So we will be talking about that next. So stay tuned.
The long distance relationship is actually the most dramatic.
So stay tuned. I will be here to tell you guys the story. Please engage with us. Let us know what you think about this. If this has ever happened to you, if you know someone you love or loved ever left, and you know how you felt and how the process was, whatever story you have around it, any comments, any suggestions, anything, we want to hear all about them, and we might pick a story or two to highlight. So comment, share with your friends, share and subscribe. You know, let people know about this. We are doing this, you know, to inspire other people, to educate other people, to engage with people. So we want to hear as much as we can from you, and let your friends know about this channel, because, you know, we're all about love, life, and laughter. So yeah, thank you guys again, and subscribe.
Yeah, subscribe. We'll meet again in the next episode. So see you in the next one.
Yes.
And keep on subscribing and sharing and liking.
Yes, and welcome all new subscribers. We appreciate you so much. Woo-hoo! Feel welcome, and bring your friends, and bring chairs and, you know, popcorn and, you know, snacks, whatever you like, because these stories can run long sometimes. Feel free.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Yangu iko chini.
Na mimi
zimekuwa mpole siku gani? Kakta zimejileta kuishi kwa desert. Sukumwa tu uiguze. You will cry the tears of. Hii inakuanga